My name is Barber. I'm from the Canadian Prairies, and I write songs. I mean, I'm a king of setting up expectations that aren't too high, and I just got here. But the first time you experience something like this, and it leaves a mark on you, you can't expect it to be the same. So if there is going to be magic, it'll probably be different. I'll probably find some other piece of gold to take home with me, but I don't expect to have that same experience of, it's like falling in love with somebody for the first time. I have a great marriage, but and we look at each other still, but it's not like her eyes are not the same as the first date. We have something richer. It's just maybe not as electric. But I think that as you develop relationships with people or places, they become more important, but maybe not as exciting, And I hope that like the people that I get to re-meet, like yourselves, that this isn't like, when I was here the first time, I didn't know I was ever going to get to come back. I didn't know we were going to get a second date, So I feel like developing relationships with people, especially like, I'm 38 years old. I think that like finding the richness in places is more important to me, and it takes more time. And that's how I feel when I get to go back to festivals like this. By the end of the pandemic, I felt like a very renewed sense of like why I write songs and who they're for, and that I really loved it and that I wanted to keep doing it. It was like a really great forced sabbatical. I feel like I was able to like build a different fire and get people around it, and try and hopefully make another mark in this scene. It's always this competitive place, and there's lots of great songwriters, and I just feel like I am a part of it, and I deserve to be here, and I didn't know that I felt that way before. I don't know if I had that level of confidence or certainty, and personally I feel like I just really have something to say, and I think people agree with me. I don't know. So John Prine is the reason I write songs. John Prine is my songwriting hero. More than anything, what he does, in my opinion, is he walks the line between comedy and tragedy in every song. And if you're at a funeral and you're not laughing half the time, it's probably not a good funeral. And the same is true when kids are born or when people get married or any of these big life events. You have to, if you want to be a real person and you want to actually like talk about humanity, you have to realize that there's both parts of those things in every good piece of art. And he was just able to do that so flawlessly. That was I don't cry easily, but I felt like giving up. That was like, there's a few people that I never thought should die, that just like didn't deserve it. And in that circumstance, the way he died, and I was just like, someone who's that good, who knows how to depict humanity like that. He was able to laugh at himself and laugh at other people, and also make you think differently about them and break your heart while laughing. He used everything to me, like as a songwriter. There's nobody who makes more sense to me, and when he died, I left home for like 3 days. I went up to the woods and I was like, why? I felt like, why bother? Like, why? You can't write like John Prine. But I also came home and realized I was taking it all too seriously, which I felt like was a gift from him through songs. Like, that's what he taught me. And laughed at myself and realized I was thinking of myself too highly. and just spent time listening to him, and hoped that somehow his tradition could be, maintained, or I could be more like him somehow. That's what I want to do. And in the same year, I lost my dad, and it felt the same way. It was like, I better get used to people dying. I'm like in my late 30s. I haven't lost a lot of big figures in my life. I haven't lost, my mom's still alive, and I haven't spent a lot of time at funerals, but the last 2 years it feels like all I did was just get just a little bit closer to the end, and all the people I look up to are getting even closer, and I have to start actually conceiving of them being gone, and I think I'm ready for it. I wasn't before Brian died, but now I feel like that was another gift. It was just like, you better start considering that this isn't going to last forever. I talk to lots of dead people, so I feel like when my dad, I find myself asking my father for help, and he's gone, and there's no way he's going to come and help, but I feel like asking anyway. He was the guy that would lend me a couple $100 if I needed it, or help me with a plumbing job or electrical job at home. It was just someone I would just call, and he would know how to do it. And, I don't think it's unreasonable to try to talk to John Prine. Like religious people talk to saints, and if I'm a spiritual person and I believe in any sort of possibility of that, he'd be the first call.
All right, well, this song's called Ronnie and Rose. It's a song about a famous homeless couple in Winnipeg, Manitoba. They're famous for stealing fruit and fruit juice from the hotel lobbies. And then out of that fruit juice, they make the world's worst wine you've ever had. I spent a lot of nights on the banks of the Assiniboine River drinking gut rot wine with Ronnie and Rose. And, they were trying to teach me the secrets of love, so if I do anything bad as a lover, it's because of them. This is a little peppy little tune for you. Ronnie and Rose, you ready? She was as hard as a natural diamond. She was as tough as a $2 steak. She had a spirit as wide as the Great Divide and a heart that just couldn't break. She was strong enough to carry burdens, keeping that sparkle in her eyes. She had devotions for strange notions and a wonderful way of wondering why. He was a drifter and a rounder and a hard time traveling man. He made his living taking and a giving and picking up aluminum cans. He loved to tell the hobo story and never spent a little time in jail. He had a tan hide from living outside. He was sharp as a 10-penny nail. So here's to the glory of Ronnie and Rose. No place in this cold world they call their own, but Saturday nights, a bottle of wine and a toast to true love and Ronnie and Rose. Yeah, well, they met in the country kitchen in the alley at the end of the street, and they didn't mind cause that cook was kind and he'd give them something to eat. Ronnie would say it's another fine day. Rosie would give him a kiss. Hand in hand they walked away. It didn't get any better than this. So here's to the glory of Ronnie and Rose. No place in this cold world they call their own, but Saturday nights, a bottle of wine and a toast to true love of Ronnie and Rose. Alright. So if you're living out in the city, trying to make yourself a lot of loot, and every day everything seems to get a deeper shade of blue, maybe give up your ambitions, buy yourself a bottle of wine, meet Ronnie and Rose at the country kitchen for one hell of a time. So here's to the glory of Ronnie and Rose. No place in this cold call their own. But Saturday nights, a bottle of wine and a toast to true love and round a roll. Here's to the glory of Ronnie and Rose. No place in this cold world they call their own. But Saturday nights, a bottle of wine and a toast to true love from around a roll. Alright, look up.